Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Bonita Lifestyle Podcast. Hey guys, what is up? How's your day going? Good morning or good night if you're listening to this in the night. Hope you guys are having a great day. On today's episode, I want to talk about raising emotionally strong kids. Mentally and emotionally strong kids. It's so important. And like, for example, for me, I only have two kids. And I don't know if there's a difference. I mean, there is a difference between raising a daughter and a son. I feel like for me, it's been more challenging raising a daughter. And I don't know if it's because as women, we're like more emotional, more, about our emotions, and men are more, on the mental side, not so much on the emotional. Maybe some are like on the emotional, but I don't know. Like for me, like it's been more of a challenge raising a daughter. And for any parents out there struggling with raising teenagers, you know what I'm talking about. And I hope you guys know you guys are doing a great job by handling that like in the right way, because sometimes, like for me, like I didn't know how to handle like my daughter's struggles when she was like a kid, until now that she's a teenager, that I saw her struggle more, because mentally, like they're still learning, like, and if we don't like model that, like this is why it's so important for us to lead by example, because if we don't know how to model that, how are they gonna know how to be emotionally and mentally strong if we're not modeling that? And I feel like that's why with my daughter, like I had more of a struggle to raise her, because and now like I feel stronger though. Like we've sought help, and we've gotten the help for her and also for me, because it's important that if you don't know like how to raise your kids, like there's a lot of books out there too. Like there's a lot of books on parenting. One of my favorite ones is Parenting with Love and Logic. That book, I haven't finished it all, but it's a really good book to start with on how to parent, because like every stage of our kids is like there's some kind of hardship in it, like when they're little, because they're little and they need your constant attention. And then when they grow up a little more, it's another level of hard, like having to send them to school, and then if they're not doing good in school, then it's challenging for the parent, because like if we have to work, if you're not a stay-at-home parent and you have to struggle with those things, like it's really hard. It's really hard to manage those things. And it's like, I remember myself, like when my kids were smaller, like I didn't know how to handle those things. Like I didn't have the strong and emotional strength to get through it in a positive way. Like I just thought my life sucked. Like I thought, and I think it's because like I also didn't have role models to role model me what mentally and emotionally strong is. Like I didn't have that either. So I didn't know how to be with my kids until I started, you know, seeking help, reading books, and learning all these things because it's important to like learn how to take care of our kids. Like sometimes we think we know it all and we think we're all grown up, and especially if like when we're young parents. Like I was a first time parent at 20. I had my son at 20, and I remember back then I thought I had it all figured out. I thought, oh yeah, like I got this. But then once you're in it, it's like, oh my God, like I don't have this. Like I don't, like when they're little, like it when you just have your first one and they're little, like it's okay. And if you don't work, because I didn't work the first few months when my son was born and stuff. And through the pregnancy too, like I didn't work or nothing. And everything was nice, but then, you know, then they start growing, they need more attention. And if we don't know how to handle um those stages in their lives, like we could really mess their little lives up. Because if if you're not like an emotionally strong person, you're always gonna be, the yelling parent that's always, yelling, talking shit to your kids instead of learning to listen to them. Because they don't throw tantrums just because. I truly believe that they don't throw tantrums at any age just because. They need attention, just like we need attention, and we could be moody and all this sometimes. That's how they react in a, throwing their tantrums. And if we don't know how to take care of them, like let them feel their emotions, because like that's another thing I learned in therapy. Um, I remember that the therapist was asking, what emotions were you not allowed to feel when you were a kid? Because if you struggle to feel those emotions now as an adult, you're also going to project it on your kids. You're also going to do the same with your kids because you don't know any other way. And that really opened my mind. I was like, wait, what? Like, and that made me think, I'm like, I feel that I wasn't allowed to feel like all the negative emotions in the book. I wasn't allowed to feel scared. I wasn't allowed to feel sad. I wasn't allowed to feel unsafe. Like all those emotions, I remember thinking back when the therapist asked, I was like, and that made so much sense why I was a certain way with my kids when they were growing up. Because I was like, wait, no wonder, like, I didn't know how to feel safe in my body, in my emotions. So then I projected all that trash onto my kids. So now seeing my daughter struggle and like, because she tells me like, I don't know how to, like, I'm scared to feel my emotions, she says. And I'm like, and it's scary, like to go through those things, like when you don't know, like when we don't get the help. Like this is why it's so important, like find help, guys. Like if you're struggling yourself, or if your kids need some kind of support, like therapy, it is so powerful. Like it has helped us so much, and it has helped her so much. And I really truly recommend it. Like it has helped her so much, but then she still struggles. It doesn't mean like she's never gonna struggle, or like that you're never gonna struggle. Like, but you have the awareness now of how to handle those emotions, or how to look at certain things now, And I tell her, I'm sorry, like if I made you feel unsafe when you were younger. Like I'm sorry if I projected all these things onto you, because I didn't know how to handle my own emotions. I didn't feel safe in my own person. So because of that, like I tell her, like, maybe that's why, not maybe, like that's why I made you feel unsafe growing up. Like I made you feel all these type of ways. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Like But from now on, I can't change the past, I tell her. But from now on, I'm going to choose to better myself, to give you a better life, to understand you better. I feel like that is so important, to understand our kids. Like, truly, like, don't just like take their moodiness in a bad way. Don't take it in a bad way. Like, really learn to understand your kids, like learning to understand our kids when they're going through like a little tough moment is so important, because when you open those doors to them, that they could trust you, even if it's something you don't know how to talk to them about. Like, just listen to them. Sometimes they just need somebody to listen to, like somebody so that they can listen to, because if we don't open those doors for them, somebody else with bad intentions is gonna do it, and they're not gonna do it in a good way. If you know if we don't open those doors for them, they end up seeking somewhere else with bad friendships, with people that are not trustworthy. They could probably take advantage of them. They don't know how to handle, they don't know how to, like, what we do when we don't listen to them, they end up seeking it somewhere else through people that could really take advantage of them, and it could really go the wrong way. And we don't want that. We want our kids to be able to trust us. And me learning that, because that happened to me. Like, I didn't have that support with my parents. They were like emotionally not supportive in any way. And I understand them, because they didn't have that either. So I get it. But now as an adult me, I'm like, okay, I need to learn how to take care of myself, like, so that I could take care of my kids, because it is so important. And I feel like that's the way to raise emotionally and mentally strong kids, because when we give them that support, and like we help them see that they could handle any situation, especially us, like model that, like when we are going through a challenge in life, they're gonna see how we handle things. They're gonna see if we're always, like, if we're handling in a positive way, if we're focusing on the solution instead of talking all this shit about how like unfair this is or this and that. Like, what example do we give our kids by modeling something like that? It is not the right way, because then they're gonna think that whenever they face a problem, they have to also do the same. Like, oh, like, problems are bad, or this and that. Like, I can't handle this. No, problems are part of life, and learning to solve those in a positive, constructive way is important for us to model that for them, so they could be resilient, so they could be good adults that could handle those kind of situations, because life is life. And yeah, I just wanted to share that, because I feel like it's important to raise strong kids. Like, talk to your kids, listen to them, learn to understand them. Don't just judge their moods, because especially like once they once they reach a certain age, like the teenage age, that age. And if you remember, like going back us, like thinking, okay, like, how was I as a teenager, and how did I struggle, and how can I be that parent, like being that parent that you needed to your kids when you were that age. Like, think about that. Like, when you see your kids struggle, like, learn to listen to them. Like, I don't know, like, I'm really I really wanted to talk about this, because it's a very important topic that not a lot of people share or talk about, because they feel like either they feel lost or they feel embarrassed to have these struggles, but there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Like, we all go through these struggles. Like, even as younger kids, like how we struggled and how we wish our parents could have, helped us reach a solution. You know, I don't know. I just wanted to talk about that, and I hope that you guys know that there's help out there. If you guys don't know how to help your teenager, there's a lot of help out there. Find therapy, find something that could help you guys, and it's not an easy journey. Um, I'm not gonna say it is, because it has its ups and downs, and but it's rewarding to find that help and get that help, because it opens your mind to a solution. It opens your mind to a better perspective of seeing struggle, because that's the problem too. Like, we think we're not supposed to have problems, when problems are part of life. Without that, we can't grow, we can't, expand. And I don't know. I just wanted to vent a little bit about that. I hope you guys um could find it, of value. And yeah, I just wanted to vent a little. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. And until next time, bye.